That's our biggest nightmare, Maria, is to forget to record. And I did it one time with the guest speaker.
At the end of the conversation is when she remembered.
I feel bad again. Let's not bring this up.
I feel bad again.
That's just, can you imagine?
I would. Yeah.
Like the time it takes for someone to like say, all right, I'll fucking record with you guys and just.
You'll never get it back. You'll never get those responses back.
No. So, but we bonded. Shout out Rudy, because he was so sweet about it.
I know.
Too sweet. I was like,
I feel so angry. I was just like, oh, Cindy, if I already don't want to be here with you as it is, you have to like dedicate another day, another hour. And it was such a great conversation. I was just like, it was so authentic. And I was like, now I have to reset everything. Like, it just wasn't organic anymore. And it ruined it.
No, but
I'm just kidding.
We bonded and I felt horrible. I was like, yeah, everyone's gonna be pissed at me, whatever, right? But then when we did it again, he agreed to re-record and we're like, oh my God. And we're like, cool. And then we did it and it was authentic. It was like a different one, right? Because we bonded through like, I apologize. I almost started crying, but I'm like, this is Jessica's friend. I'm going to embarrass her. I already embarrassed her. You know what I mean? So I was like, fuck. And so anyways, wow, we recorded that.
You got it though at the end of it. Like I bet yeah.
Yeah,
like you were like irritated that she was late and you're like, I'm texting, and then I'm sure she was like,
shut up, Cindy. Your stupid podcast. You're lucky I even do this shit with you.
Like, say something, Cindy. What did you just say? Say it one more time.
She's constantly threatening me. Like, was that a tone I sensed? I was like, Prima, it's an emoji. And she's just like, just checking, Cindy. You can get a little lippy.
That is abusive. Awesome.
Yeah. Okay. So anyways, 10 minutes in. Hey, everybody. So welcome back to the Primas Podcast. I am Cindy. Yay. And that's my Prima Jess.
Hey, everyone. Hello.
I like how we're waving to each other. And that's our friend Maria.
Yay. What's up?
Welcome back, Maria. Yay.
Thank you. It's so awesome. This is so fun. I'm already having fun. My cheeks already hurt.
Good. Okay. Yay. So thank you so much for being here. I'm so excited. I was just telling you that, but I haven't seen you, even though we are both in Denver. We're on opposite ends. Wouldn't you say? We really are.
Yes.
And I haven't seen you in forever. And I've been following your journey through Instagram, and it's just, I had to stop myself from crying when I first saw you, because I'm like, oh my God. Like, we met and we were both like iffy about our side hustles. It was just so new to us, and you've taken off. And I just feel, I'm just super happy like about it. I'm like, fuck yeah. It's very motivational.
Well, thank you. That makes me feel like, I don't know. I don't see what you guys see. I just see I think I see all the obstacles. I don't see all it from your end. I mean, I don't want to make it sound like bad, but it's still work, essentially. So that feels really good that, I get to hear that from you, and it's inspiring to me. So thank you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Let's try not to cry in this episode, because I already feel it. Okay. So Maria, it has her business truck. It's a food truck. And I'm going to ask you all these questions so the listeners can hear about you and your food truck. And it's called Maiz Denver.
Yes.
And let's start with that. Where did you tell us about it? Where'd you get that started? Like your truck, the idea, your truck is awesome.
Well, the idea came from gorditas just being my favorite food. And that Denver, there isn't really I've never really had gorditas. Except for with my mother-in-law, and she made them, they make them in the church and they sell them, to fundraise. But as far as restaurants, you kind of see like way on the bottom of the menu, like probably nobody orders them. I don't know, but just, I fell in love with these little patties, and I'm like, I need to highlight this amazing food. So that kind of is where the whole concept of the truck came from. And as far as, the name, I didn't really have a name, and I'm not very like creative with, a super catchy words or like anything, but
it's hard, huh?
it's hard. And I was just always like Maiz, like that's the heart of the truck is the corn. I mean, without the gordita, there is nothing. So I just, that's just kind of, I took the first thing and just went with it. And that's how Maiz kind of came about. My favorite food, and that's it.
Yay. I remember the last time you came on when we were talking, I think it was late 2020, right? I think it was our first season.
I
think
oh damn, it
was late 2020, and I remember COVID had hit, so it kind of stopped production for everyone. And so that's why like it had came about. So like fast forward to almost a year and a half later, and look how different the truck is. I remember you were like, oh, like we're having title issues, and then COVID hit, so you were just like super unmotivated, like it's not meant to be. And I just wanted to highlight that because I can't believe, like you said, it was just the smallest idea and it came to fruition. You made it possible.
Yeah, it really did. I mean, it's just so crazy to hear you say that, like just talking to you guys, and I'm like, I don't know if this is gonna happen.
Yeah.
I've got the truck, I've got a business, I've got everything, but it just can't, move forward with it's like a minor but huge, huge piece of paper that makes a huge difference. Yeah, it was just the title, and I overcame and still had obstacles, but yeah, I mean, we're here, we're on the road, we're on the street, we're slanging those gorditas now. So yeah, it feels really good to say that it actually happened.
Do you know when, right? Do you remember like what month, or like when was your grand opening?
So my soft opening was April 28th, I believe. It was like a Friday and then a Saturday. So I opened Friday, and then Saturday, I had propane issues and I couldn't get anything to light. And come to find out, when I went to refuel my propane, the lady didn't fill it up right, and she kind of like blew past like I don't know, there's all these like safety valves and stuff. So she messed that up, and I couldn't go back out. And I was on my way. I made it there. I was running late. I was super stressed, and the parking lot that I was going to park in was full of people. So I couldn't even find a parking to like start cooking. I went to my uncle's house, like parked my truck in front of his house and tried to get my pilot to light. And I could not, I like waited an hour to like trying to start it. And I had to like post and say like, I'm not coming. And it was like the most like embarrassing thing I had to do. But just looking back from now to then, it's like, now I know all these things. Now, now I know what happens with my water tank, with my propane. So just so crazy I can't stop saying the crazy word, because I'm still like have to pinch myself every here and there. It's just really real.
Yeah. And we're almost in a year. You're in 11 months right now. Your anniversary is coming up since you went live. Wow, how exciting.
Yeah, 1 year in business is I feel proud. I feel proud of myself to even get to this point. And that was really hard for me to say, because self-confidence is not something that I have. And, this process definitely made that, I had to believe in myself even more to make it happen. So it feels really good to say that we're going to come up on a year.
And isn't it so intense how much paperwork and permits? And I didn't know any of this, but when we took the class together, I was the only one not doing a food truck or a catering service. And so I learned so much about the business of caterers or just to get permits. And there's just so, I'm like, oh, you must really love this. Like I would look around at you guys and I'm like, no, I could never. It sounds like an awesome idea. Like I'd work for someone, but me, myself, open a food truck. I'm like, just the initiation process to even ask for permission to serve food, right? Like all the technical stuff. So good for you. You put in a lot of work.
Yeah. It's grueling at first. So like I had to renew, I just renewed right now and for Denver to have my business license. And I think once you go through it, you're like, okay, like I got this, you know, the more you do it, the more easier it becomes. So at first it is like really scary and nerve-wracking. Yeah.
So I love your food truck because you have like a really badass piece of work on it. And I just want to say that to everyone, you're a Denver native and you really taught me that Denver natives are pretty awesome. And you just know a lot about the culture. And I hadn't met anybody who was a Denver native that knew kind of like the arts of Denver. Like, you know, a lot of holes in the wall. And I'm just like, damn, that's so awesome. So can you tell us about your truck and the art and what inspired you to do that?
So I definitely wanted something different on my truck. Like what sets us apart from all of the other trucks? Because there's so many, you know, there's so many food trucks out there. There's a lot of taco trucks. There's just so much. So what's going to set me aside or set me apart from everybody else? And I met this super awesome lady. Her name is Karma, and she designed my logo. And she did a beautiful job. Like I told her my vision and she put it down and I was just like blown away. Like this definitely represents, you know, me and the vision and the food and everything. So I approached her to do my truck, to paint it, because I didn't want to wrap. You know, a lot of trucks go and wrap their truck and it's really amazing. Like it's cool and it looks really good. But like I said, what's going to set us apart? So, you know, getting together with Karma and, you know, talking about different ideas, and we just, you know, she kind of drew up something and I was like, this is it. Like, this is it. And that process was a long thing too, because it snows here in Colorado and you can't just like go out and do, you know, this artwork. So everything was just so much like up and down, but in the end, and seeing it all transform and come together looks really beautiful. And I, you know, when I talked to Karma about what she was going to put on my truck, you know, I'm such a pro women, pro femme, pro, you know, just pro femme, I guess is the best word I can say, because women are so strong and women, you know, have really carried everything, like wars, like we've had a role there, like being mothers, being providers, being the cooks, the healers, the everything. Like women are just so magical, so beautiful, and I want to honor that part of me, and especially for something that, you know, my dad was the one that raised me, and so I didn't really have that feminine, you know, part. And so being a mother to two daughters has like really, you know, brought a whole new light to everything. And I want to show them like it's okay to be a woman. It's okay to be, you know, this strong and beautiful human. And so that's why I have this beautiful woman on my truck, that's surrounded by corn, that's so like fruitful. So, you know, I'm just trying to look for all the words, but like corn is such like, it's such a gift. I can't even put to words to everything that corn represents. And so putting the two together was just very powerful to me. And just to ride around in this truck, and I call it like Mama Maiz, like to ride around with Mama Maiz on my side, I think just helps me go out there and do what I do. So.
Wow.
In a nutshell.
No, that's cool, because I remember you telling me about it, but I didn't hear the full story. So that's awesome. I love
Yeah,
it.
I love it.
Mountains, you know, I gotta represent Colorado and
It's
and
very
what,
vibrant.
yeah,
Like it
very,
stands out for sure.
yes.
I'm
for
glad you
sure.
didn't paint it that orange though. I don't like that orange. I'm glad you went with like that green.
Well, the thing with Karma too is she's very if you look at her work, she uses very vibrant colors, a lot of purple, a lot of neon. So I mean, she brought her element to the piece too. So it was really cool to, you know, have us kind of work together, but really it's her art. So she did a really good job.
That's awesome. I like that.
Yeah. So what type of food do you cook? Like what's on the menu? I know gorditas obviously, but tell us more about your menu.
Gorditas, yes. So that's really what I want to highlight. And it's a struggle because I get like, do you have tacos? Do you have tacos? And I'm like, no, I don't want to sell tacos. Not that I have anything against tacos because they're amazing, but there's so many, you know, trucks. There's so many of those, and I want to set myself apart. Like I want people to know gorditas, but people like variety, and people like they just want choices. And I'm struggling right now to figure out more variety that's going to like go along with my vision. And I'm leaning towards more like comfort foods like enchiladas, pozole. Something that I grew up with is, we call it wow, I'm blinking out right now. It's basically like a casserole that has chorizo and it has corn and it has green chili in it. Chicken in the crust, and that's chicken. That's what we call it, chicken in the crust. And like all these flavors together are just like so magical, and they're so delicious, and they're so comforting. And so I think moving forward, I definitely have to add variety. I just have to give the people what they want. But tacos isn't going to be one of them. So right now it's just gorditas with different fillings, and I put like nachos and loaded fries is kind of what I got right now. Also because I want to keep my food truck gluten-free. It's also a huge thing to me that is important, because my gorditas are gluten-free, and like it gives people that can't eat, you know, gluten, like, okay, like this is her. And I've had people come like, hey, I know her food is good, her food is gluten-free, I can eat it. And so it's kind of hard to, you know, bring variety when you're trying to keep like a certain concept, if that makes any sense.
No, it does.
So right now there's not a whole lot. What I try to give variety is like the fillings that you can fill the gorditas with, versus, you know, tacos and tortas and burritos and, you know, all.
What are the fillings?
The fillings, so the traditional filling that I got introduced to is ground beef and potato. So that is one. And then a bean and cheese gordita goes a long way. It's just so delicious, and everything is so comforting. And that's what I think I love about the food and what I want to serve and what my vision is. It's like when you eat the food, I want you to feel comforted. But aside from that, I have asada, and I have carnitas. I have calabacita. So I grew up with a lot of squash, a lot of corn, and I'm like, hey, I should put this filling in a gordita. And my husband was like, I don't know. Nobody's gonna like that. Like nobody likes vegetables. And I'm like, well, like sorry, like I don't care what you say on this one. I'm gonna do it. And it happened to be my biggest seller.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah. So I mean, like people come up like, I'm not getting down with that. And I'm like, here, just try it. And then they're like, oh my gosh, this is so delicious. So it's, you know, just put a little bit of, I don't know, a new idea, and here you go. Like, I don't know if you've ever had a calabacita gordita. You'll have to come and try it.
Yeah.
But
I can't imagine that combo. but I believe you. I believe it's good. So I want to try it.
It sounds crazy, and you think they the two don't go together, but they do. But I'm on a different note. I am going to change my menu a little bit as far as the fillings. So, kind of going into the next month, I'm bringing a green chili smoked chicken filling, and I am bringing my carnitas, and then I'll probably do a brisket as well, like that's green chili smoked as well. So.
And then for those of you who haven't been to Denver, green chili's big out there, right?
Yes.
I
Totally.
know.
Like I try to ask the farm where I get my chili from, which is in Pueblo, like what's the history of chili? Like what is it? And it's like a weird, I don't think anybody knows, like I think when people think of green chili, they automatically think of New Mexico. But we've I feel like it's always been here. It's always been in Colorado. I mean, we've kind of made it like a thing. So I definitely had to highlight the green chili because that's what I grew up with, and it's delicious, and you could just smother it on anything, and it's so good. So
it is. And you know how to make a vegan, right? A vegan one?
Yes, a vegan green chili. So initially I started out, I got an idea from a friend that had a food truck, and he didn't put meat in his chili just to cut the cost of it down. And I was like, wow, this, like, I could do that. Like it opens up the options because I could take whatever filling protein that I have, and you can just add it to the chili, and you can like make it how you want to make it. And to make it like, one thing was vegan, but I also didn't want to use gluten in it. So it doesn't have any gluten, doesn't have any flour. And that's because I don't want to consume so much gluten. And so I was like, how can I make this green chili without using flour, which is what I know everybody's recipe that in my family is always using flour as a thickener. So I kind of just was thinking outside of the box to make my truck gluten-free. And that's how I got my vegan green chili.
Yeah, it's delicious because you brought it to class, and I'm a fan. I love it, but I've had it with pork in it, like the Chubby's green chili. Oh, it's so good.
I know.
And so I was like, vegan.
It's still tasty.
And I love vegetables, and I'm like, I don't know. And it was bomb, and everybody liked it. All of the people in the class, and they were all, food truck people. So that was a good criticism, and they all loved it. So.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, it's delicious. Jessica hates it, so she actually is the only person that was open to try it because
I was just gonna say,
and I'm like, dude, you want to try these smothered green chili? And I was just trying to explain it because there's an LA chili fries, asada fries, but
yeah, asada fries,
but it's just it's totally different. And I'm just like, but this is its own thing. So I was just like, I don't know if we're gonna like it. Nobody else has from California. And she ended up loving it.
Yeah.
It's tasty. Like the chili itself is tasty.
Yeah. And when I think chili, I do think that like the salsa I put on like my tacos or like burritos. So that's like when I saw it, I did judge it. I'm like, what the heck? It's so like watery. And I was just like to my mouth. She did. It's like, no, just try it. And I did. And yeah, it is good. So I like it that you are really incorporating the culture of like Denver out there, and adding it because I don't know. Yeah, I don't know a lot about it out there. I just know like it's the green stuff, and I like that. I like culture for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I think about how my grandparents came from Texas, but they're from Mexico. And I just think about like their journey, on their journey they came to Colorado to work in the farms. And I think about how history kind of played its role with food, because they probably started out making food a certain way, but on their way here, it just changed with what was available or how they can cook different foods. And I think that's kind of how green chili came about is, like being in the farm and cooking with what you had and this is what was here, and you just sauce it up and put it on anything, and it makes anything taste good.
Yeah. Don't you just love Mexican food? It's so amazing. Like the diversity.
Yes.
It's my favorite cuisine. And I know I'm biased because I'm Mexican, but I love like Asian food, Ethiopian food. Like I love it. I can eat that stuff all the time too. But I feel like Mexican food, because I include it in some of my menus too. And it's just like, that's my cellar.
Yeah.
Like my healthy meal prep is like, sure, great. It's not bad, but like my cellar is Mexican food. And my mom is an amazing Mexican cook. So
I was just going to say, she made the vegan champurrado when I was out there. She made an entire pot, and Cindy and I like drank it all.
I know we did.
I gained like 10 pounds that whole trip.
Because she made tamales too. And we were just like,
we ate.
Why are we
so hungry?
Yeah, I know, huh? All this food talk.
Yes.
Okay, where are we on time? I wanted to ask, so I think I love seeing your pictures because the people that help you out and you shout them out, and I think that's really awesome, are just people that can help, right? Especially in the beginning. Like, I'm doing this, oh shit, like, can anyone help? And I saw that your husband was in the truck, and I don't know who the other people are, but I just want to ask, like, what does your support system look like? Because I see the pictures, but we want to know what's behind that, because you have a whole team backing you. And I'm like, damn, that's good synergy, like you're doing it right.
Well, that's where the tears come in. It's been just so crazy of how much my support system has helped. I mean, my husband, for one, has been a huge number one supporter, because I'm like, I gotta quit my job. Yeah. I can't contribute to the household, and I want to make this thing, I want to make this thing go. And he's like, okay, let's do it. And when my propane broke, he's like on the floor after work, tearing up my truck, like trying to make it work, trying to get me back out there. So I definitely have to give a shout out to my husband, because he, has been there to support me, and he motivates me. Like, I've been like on the floor crying. I mean, he's probably seen the good, the bad, the ugly, and everything in between. And I'm like, I can't, I'm just so tired. I don't want to go out. And he's like, you gotta go. Like, you committed, like you gotta go, let me help you. Like, what do we gotta do? And so, he gives me that extra push. And my kids, have been a huge motivator for me. They're the ones that I think didn't let me give up, because I seen them looking at me, and I'm like, I can't show them that you give up on, a little bit of a bump in the road. So, they've been amazing. And my dad has also been a huge inspiration, for the whole process. And, just my whole family has really just, if I need anybody, I just have to ask. And they're like, okay, I'm there. Wow. My mother-in-law, my sister-in-laws, they're all there. My sisters, like everybody, my mom, my dad, I think everybody has at least gone on the truck at least once. So, wow, and the one girl that does help me is Julia, and she's my right-hand woman, and she's always there, and she's an amazing worker and friend and person, and it's amazing that she's always there to help me. So.
Wow.
The truck is like it's just a family, it's just a family thing that we just kind of keep it going.
Oh, so that's what I was going to ask you. So this side hustle, you did let go of your full-time job to make this full-time.
Yes, I did. So I worked at Denver Health for almost 12 years, and 8 of those years I was an EMT, and I loved helping people. I loved being out in the community. Like, that was a passion of mine. I mean, I wanted to make a career out of it. But then I started losing the passion, and I started getting burned out, and I was unhappy. And I think that was when I kind of decided, like, what am I going to do with my life? I'm not going to be a nurse. I'm not going to be a paramedic. What is the next step for me? And this was it. This was calling me.
So, wow, what a shift, huh, in careers?
Yes. Still a lot of work, though.
Oh, yeah.
I definitely didn't realize how much work the food truck really is until I was in it. You know, it's one thing to cook, but then you're got to clean your truck, and you got to fill up your water tank and your propane, and you have to make sure like all of your equipment's working. And I mean, there's just so many things that I had to learn. Like, I have to be an accountant, and I have to promote, and I have to be like a design artist, like I have to do so much. And I'm like, I just want to cook, but I picked this whole thing that I have to, keep afloat. It's not just cooking.
Yeah, I can't imagine.
Probably the easy part. That's probably the easy part.
Yeah, it's cooking. Yeah, that's cool. So I asked about your support system. Oh, I wanted to move into like, I like during COVID was when my side hustle kind of crashed, and I lost a lot of motivation. And then I just recently started cooking for someone again. And I'm very thankful, because it kind of just starts to motivate you. Because I was like, I don't want to do this. Like you said, the cooking part's fun, but it's all of the extra backhand, creating menus, like things that you wouldn't imagine, right? And you're like, shit, like this is really important. Like I have to figure this out. I have my job, I have my kids, right? And so I wanted you to give us like words of wisdom, for like entrepreneurs, for like moms, not even if they're entrepreneurs, but just like you're handling a lot. You have a family, and that's a full-time job. And then you have your business, and so can you give us any like motivators of when we are feeling like, I can't do this. It's crazy. It's too much. I'm giving up.
Yeah, I still go through those moments. Like right now has been a slow time, and I'm like, I don't want to work. I don't want to do anything. Like it's just slow. It's just But I think to myself, like, I didn't just do all of this work just to give it up. Because I feel like I'm lazy at times, like I don't want to do this because I don't want to work anymore. And I want to spend time with my kids, and I want to do this, and I want to do fun things. And I'm like, nope. Like, you worked so hard, like everybody worked so hard for this to take off, and it's gonna even get even better. But I got to put in the work. And what I tell myself is that it's only temporary. So the unmotivation, or the slow time, or the burnout, summer's super busy, and I was burnt out at the end of it. Like, it's only temporary. Like a season is a season. It comes and then it goes. So I feel like those feelings that we're feeling right now, you're going to get over it, and it's only temporary. So that, I think, just being in that moment and honoring it, and then going on to the next is the most important thing. That it only lasts for a little bit. It's only temporary. So the bad is only temporary. Now the good, you have to just keep elevating yourself,
Yeah.
So I don't know if that's good words of wisdom.
Oh yeah, it is.
But
because I tried, like I said, I hit kind of like I don't even want to meal prep for myself. And so I started to get very sloppy on my meal prep, because I'm like, it's not for someone else. And then when I get sloppy on my meal prep, I don't end up liking it. And so I'm wasting time and money that I do not have. Right. And so I would kick myself in the butt, and I'm just like, even if you don't have clients, you were still meal prepping before because of food justice. You were trying to get people to create like easy menus that you can find at your local grocery store, but still fulfill what you need in your body. Right. But accessibility. And so I started to do it again. I was like, take your meal prep serious. And then that's when I got the confidence, after doing it for a while, to ask someone like, hey, would you be interested? And they're like, oh my God, I would love to. And it was just like, what? It happened like crazy, because I was ready. So I think I think that's cool what you said about the seasons, because that's what happened to me. I was like, what else can I do? Like I need to do something else. And I thought I had lost the whole meal prep gig thing.
And I think that it happens like that for a reason. Having a slow time, or you feeling this type of way, kind of pushes you like to have like you start getting ideas in that time, and then you're like, okay, like then you get motivated, to the next step. And so I think like those downtimes, or those things where we're just feeling like, oh, blah, or whatever it is, it's just like a growing pain.
Yeah. because
That's
it's like you said. Oh, sorry, Jessica.
I was just going to say that, like, you need those downtimes, you can't be running all the time. You do need to relax. And this is your first year, so you don't know what to anticipate, like with each season, what it came with. But next season, that time around, you're going to be way more prepared. You're going to be like, okay, it's downtime. So this is what you're going to be planning for it, but how would you have not known if you didn't go through that?
Exactly. Yeah.
And yeah, you're a year into it. So all 4 seasons now, what it looks like in Denver,
Yeah. The winter's different for sure.
Yeah. So then now you know that you're going to hustle for the other 3 seasons. And then on winter time, you could take that break and really enjoy it, because you're going to get the ball rolling and do all those things that you said you just wanted to do, So you're going to be able to pace yourself for that marathon.
Yeah, I like that. I like how you put that.
Thanks. It just came to me. Wow. Just like out of nowhere.
I definitely needed that piece of advice.
Yeah.
So speaking of schedules and weather patterns in Colorado, where could we look for you, find you? You're also at really cool events. And then I wish I could go to these all the time. I would go to all of them, but the way my life is set up.
You can't have
one day.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, so so spring is coming up, and then tell us about spring and then about summer.
So I'll first tell you my only consistent spot is at Raices Brewery, and I'm there every other Tuesday, and they have been so amazing, to have me there, and I feel so grateful to be there. So that's my one consistent spot. And
where's that at?
It's by Meow Wolf. It's like literally across the street from Meow Wolf and behind the Bronco Stadium. It's kind of hidden,
okay.
But it was started by Latinos. It's 2 Latinos and a Latina, and they're making a strong force in making beer, as being POC. So it's really cool to just like be in that community.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And so I have like stuff here and there. It's kind of scattered. So Instagram is my number one place for locations. But I am doing Civic Center Eats starting May 19th, and I'll be at Civic Center Park every Thursday until I think September. I can't remember on the top of my head, but there'll be so many more events, coming up once it starts warming up, and I'm excited to see, what comes about and see what we get into and where we'll be.
We'll check you guys out for sure next time I'm out there. I plan on going ending of summer, so I might catch the end when you're like, Jess, actually don't come.
Yeah, like I can't talk right now, you guys.
Yeah. I know.
No, I want to find, somewhere I can be, maybe like Tuesday through Thursday, Tuesday through Friday in the day. More consistency is on the horizon.
Okay, cool. Yeah, we were going to go last time. Jess was like, we should try to go. And I'm like, but our daughters are going to just ruin our plans. Let's just not even make plans. They really kill the vibe.
Yeah.
Bring them.
They're just intense together, Maria. Like, whoa, you think one is bad by themselves, and then they're together and they like mutate into this ginormous, exhausting beast. Yeah, ball of energy.
We're always done by 7 p.m. Just like.
Well, you guys need a mama's night out when you come.
Yeah, we definitely do.
Have that happen.
Yeah.
Wait, you said Meow Wolf? I forgot about that. You just told me about that, huh? Cindy, it just opened in Denver, and it's like the place to be at right now?
Yeah, I haven't gone yet. Have you guys? Have you gone?
No. Hopefully I go next month for my daughter's birthday.
Yeah, it seems pretty cool. Like everybody comes and they're like, whoa, I feel like I just like entered a different like.
I know. I've heard a lot of stuff. I'm like
yeah,
I have to see for myself.
Yeah. Well, this has been so fun.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Yay, Maria. I'm so proud of you. Congratulations.
I appreciate that. I really do. Like, more than you know. I can't even put words to it because, like I said, I don't see it from your side. I just am in it. And, Cindy remind me all the time, like, wow, like I'm really just like happy with your work. And I feel like I'm not doing anything.
Crazy.
So to hear that, I'm very grateful and thankful. Thank you.
Yeah. Well, you are doing amazing. So keep up the good work, and I love the energy I'm feeding off of it. So you don't know, like, we don't know, right? What's on the other side. So like, believe us, you're just, I love your story. So yay. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you.
All right, guys. We hope you enjoyed this episode. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.